Good morning, badasses. Coach Joe with the Summit Endurance Academy here. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about intervals. This is kind of your intervals 101. First, fucking warm up. Come on. And honestly, it should be pretty similar if you're doing a really hard interval set. It should be a pretty similar warm up to your races. What? You don't warm up for races? Start. My typical standard warm-up is roughly, 15 minutes kind of progressive, kind of going from on the couch to, maybe a little faster than distance pace, probably 5 minutes at, maybe like marathon pace or something like that, working my way up into zone 3. 5 minutes pretty easy, and then maybe some strides. And then I'm ready to go. And I think that's a great warm-up for an interval workout or a race. So first is warm up. Second is you should have decided beforehand whether you're doing these intervals either in session or as repeats. And in session means interval rest as you're running across or up, interval rest. Repeats mean interval rest. Now, in-session intervals are good, I think, for like a distance day where you're just going to throw in some strides every 3 minutes, or a tempo day when you're going to throw in some strides every 3 minutes, or more of a free-form workout. Like I have one where I just say like, hey, I want you to get in 20-second efforts through the day. Do it. It doesn't, you could sit there and do those as repeats, but the idea is to give you freedom. But hill repeats or any kind of repeats or like track repeats or something like that are absolutely the best way to do intervals. And you're like, well, but I don't get to ride. So what? It's a, what's the word I'm looking for? It's an investment. This is an investment in time. Repeat intervals are more effective than in-session intervals, partially because you can look at your pacing. So if you do the same hill, you have 5 intervals to do, you do them all on the same hill, you can tell whether you're fucking up your pacing. On to the next thing, pacing. Pace it negative split. Go faster at the end than you do in the beginning. The first 20% of your intervals should be still kind of part of the warm-up. That should be, your first one interval of 5, say, should be at about 95% of the effort that you want to do, because you're still trying to kind of ramp the body up and get it ready for those really hard efforts. The absolute last thing that you want to do is do that at like 105%. And fuck up all the rest of them, so that you're just getting slower and slower and slower for your intervals. Don't do that. Go harder earlier, or go harder later. Slow. And then in between intervals is not training. I don't care if you are walking, lying down, crying, cursing my name. I don't care, but your heart rate needs to come down. Down. Like down 30, 40, 50 beats, okay? You will gain nothing. In fact, you will sabotage your workout by trying to keep your heart rate high or your pace high or any of those things, or trying to race the guy who you just passed during the interval. Don't do it, okay? Rest means rest in between these intervals. And then cool down once you're done. Cool down. Doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be much. I definitely am a big fan of, if you've been, if you have like, say you have been doing intervals uphill, and this is, mountain running, mountain biking, ski mountaineering racing, whatever that is, and you descend to the car, then you should do a little bit of flat around the car, or maybe even go up just a little bit. You need some uphill after the interval. So you shouldn't just like finish your intervals and then consider a downhill to the car to be your cool down. Doesn't work like that. You need some uphill. Okay, intervals 101. Kind of a longer video today. Have a good day.